Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is in beautiful Austin, Texas. Today, we've got a great crowdcast for you with some folks from Powerhouse Home and Commercial Services. The title of this one is The Best Flooring Options for Your Austin Rental Property. We at 836 Property Management are a investment management company. It's easy to say property manager, but the truth is we want to make sure you get the most return on your investment, not just tell you when the toilet's broken. So we have outstanding vendors in the city of Austin that we partner with day to day. We probably go back and forth with our vendors 50 times a day sometimes because we manage closing in on 900 units around the greater Austin area. And Powerhouse Home and Commercial Services are with us today. They're one of our licensed, experienced, knowledgeable vendor partners. They're a full service company though, and they specialize in cleaning, construction, flooring, restoration, a little bit of everything for residential and commercial real estate in Central, South, and North Texas. That is a lot. Not out of here and how you keep up with it. Before we jump in today, we do have a question and answer at the bottom of the screen. So for those of you watching live today at the end of the discussion, we're going to answer any questions that you may have. So please feel free to drop your questions in. We may wait until the end to address those, but we're happy to address anything we can. And if we can't, we'll follow up with you and get you some answers once everything is done. So Don and Eric, tell us a little bit about yourselves today, a little bit about Powerhouse, so that everybody can get to know you as well as we know you.
Go ahead,
Great.
Don.
Go ahead, Eric. You go first.
So my name is Eric Maxwell. I've been with Powerhouse Home Commercial Services for 5 years. Matter of fact, yesterday. I've got about 30 years experience in the multifamily cleaning, restoration, flooring, mold remediation, just about anything you could think of for multifamily property.
Very good. And my name's, thanks, Eric. My name's Don Rogers. And I started the Powerhouse business 29 years ago, actually. And it's been a wonderful journey, learning experience. But, you know, helping friends out is what I enjoy. So it's been a great experience.
You guys are making me look bad. We've only been in business about 17 years. Between a few of us, I think we've seen a couple things around here, and we can also speak to our staying power, because I really hope in Austin, if you're not treating people well and doing the right thing, you leave town. It would just be easier on all of us. If you're here for the short term, please don't be. Go somewhere else, because we all plan to stay here and kind of put our stakes in the ground. The flooring options we're going to be discussing today specifically are vinyl plank, which can be glued down, floating floors, which I've been told is loose lay, is another way of saying that, carpet, everybody knows what carpet is, and some other considerations or other products that we tend to install or repair for other rental properties. You guys don't just serve us, you serve companies across major metro areas. So honestly, you know, we look to you guys for things like suggestions, experience, 29 years. We look to you to say, what do we not know? We think we know enough. But please don't let us get into trouble, and lead us. If there's a new product or service out there, we want to hear about it. We want to find out how we can better serve our clients. So on the first topic, let's dig into the vinyl plank, which we've seen for at least a decade now, our glued down flooring. I think, Eric, you're going to take a few of these. Can you tell our investors why this is the most popular option?
Yeah, sure. So highlights for glue down LVP. It's a popular product for rental properties for several reasons. It's a lower investment cost. It's not as expensive as like tile or something like that. It's very durable, and it's easy to repair and maintain. When we have a glue down, it's usually put down with a pressure sensitive glue. So it's very easy for our crews to come in and pull up a damaged plank or two and put a new one down, as long as, you know, we leave a few spare boxes when we're through with the job. And then there's a large selection of colors, designs, textures. You know, the sky's the limit. They've been doing it a long time, and these manufacturers have got a lot of different products out there To install an LVP, it can be installed over most surfaces. We've even gone into tile floor and done a float over the top of it and put LVP over the top of that, which saves the cost of the demo, which is a big cost. We have to make sure that the prep of the floor, the subfloor, is very good. It's key. If we don't do a good subfloor, it's one of the most important things. If we don't do a good subfloor prep, the end product is not going to look good. It's not going to be durable. It could be susceptible to popping, where the plank could actually come off. So the subfloor prep is very key. In a rental home scenario, we typically install a mill product, and a mill is the protector layer that goes over the top of it. There's different kinds. There's ceramic, there's dioxide. There's many different ones. But typically we'll install a 6, 8, or a 10 mil wear layer in a residential property. If you're looking at high traffic areas or pets in a rental property, we can go up to a 12 or a 20 mil product. Those products are generally saved for commercial applications like in a Walmart or a department store where there's a lot of wear and tear, but it is not unheard of to put that into a rental property, especially if you allow pets. So that's something very key to remember. The benefits of this, there's a higher, the general guideline by using a higher wear layer in a rental property. Again, like I said earlier, is that it's a huge benefit with pets' longevity. The floor is just going to last longer. Any high wear areas like at a front door or a garage door entrance, back door where people come in and out all the time, the higher wear layers will generally last a lot longer.
That's brilliant. So some of the other things that we've seen on our side, which are beneficial, is, there's a misconception that if you see a concrete slab, like you've got your flooring pulled up, you see the slab, and you see any crack in it at all, that slab has problems or needs repair. And that's not the truth, right? There's cracks just from the normal drying or curing of the concrete and everything else. But we have these owners with concrete floors, and they'll have a little bit of movement in them or see a crack or something. But if you have that with hard tile, it's really easy to see those cracks in that tile when it moves just so little. Or in a rental, somebody drops a cast iron pan. I'm not going to say my wife does that, but it may have happened from time to time. And you do not want to see those tiles crack. Where I feel like you're saying that these glue down products, because of the cushion in them a little bit, that's probably a bad term, but I'll let you correct me, that they take a little bit more wear and tear. They may have a little bit of flex to them, and they're certainly not going to show should the concrete move slightly. Now, obviously, if the house is falling off the side of a hill, we've got a problem. But I see a lot of movement. Our personal home here in Austin is on top of limestone. It's not going anywhere, but we still get movement, right? I mean, from rains and droughts and everything else. So is that kind of what you're seeing? Is it lasts better all around?
Yeah, correct. If you have some minor imperfections in the floor, we can come in with floor prep and correct that prior to the lay. But since the thickness of the glue down LVP is so thin, we want to make sure that we have a really nice flat surface to put it on. And if it does move or shift a little bit, a lot of times it's going to move with it. We may have a seam or a gap that opens up a little bit on it that we can come in and repair if need be, but it's a far less costly repair than it is to rip up a bunch of tile and replace a bunch of tile.
If an owner, and I hate this, but it happens, if an owner has stained concrete, I'm gonna pause there because it turns out so poorly, but everybody thinks it's a good idea. If an owner has stained concrete and they need to put this type of floor on top of it, can that be done?
Yes. We ironically do stained concrete as well. We were going to talk about it later, so I'll leave that.
We'll wait till later to dig into it.
Yeah, we'll leave that one for Don. But what we would need to do is we would go in and rough it up, just like if you needed to repaint a car. You have a really durable layer on a car that's got to be scuffed up some way, whether we do it with chemical etch or if we do it with mechanical, grinding of the floor. But yeah, all we have to do is just make that bond, or it will bond, and that's either a chemical etch or abrasive sanding of that floor prior to putting any kind of glue on it.
Groovy. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, so let's head on to the next one. Let's talk about the floating floors. These look similar to those that are the vinyl plank, but totally different feel to them, at least from my experience walking on top of them.
Yeah, and in loose lay, there are a couple of different styles of loose lay. We have mechanically connected loose lay, which is what we would call a click, or most people would know it as an old laminate or ergo floor. And then there are some newer stuff now that has just perfectly square edges and is about 5 to 6 millimeters thick. That is true loose lay, and it's just held by the weight. It's extremely heavy. Don's showing a piece there.
Wow.
And it does not require to be glued down. You can glue it down, but what you have to do is you have to glue the very door of the room, and then everything else just lays down in there, which is very easy because a homeowner or a renter owner or a maintenance guy can go in, pull up a piece, and lay a new piece down if it's not mechanically fastened with an adhesive. So loose lay is like I said, is thicker than a glue down. Like a glue down, it has many of the same features, but it has some additional benefits because of its thickness. Installation method, like I was saying, it can be laid down without any glue. If you do want to glue it down, we do recommend a pressure sensitive adhesive. So like I say, it's very easy to pull up and down. And generally we will only glue the perimeter, and everything else gets laid in the middle. If it's a click, we're just going to click all the planks in, give it the proper gapping around the edges, around any kind of abutments or anything like that. And so that way the floor can expand and contract as it needs to. And then we move on. Optional loose lay products are tile. So instead of just the long planks that you normally see, they are now making a lot of loose lay and click products that look just like a tile. Of course, you won't have as many of the characteristics that you would have in a true tile floor, but from 4 or 5 feet away, the looks are amazing. Sometimes you can't even tell that it's really a vinyl product over a traditional ceramic or porcelain or even a stone product, because they make all different kinds and they look just like stone, marble, anything you could think of. It's easier to install. Some of the benefits over a glue down LVP is it's much thicker. So it's going to have 9 times out of 10, it either has a padding attached to the back of it, or it is a thicker product, which gives you more sound dampening abilities. This would really come in on second floors, third floors, or if you had a property that had multiple floors like a mid-rise or something like that, this would be an optimal product because the tenants downstairs aren't going to drop and complain that they hear the neighbors in 201. It's very easy to install, especially if it's loose lay. If it's click, of course, you have to go through and click it all in, but the manufacturing process these days makes that extremely easy for our installers. The biggest thing is just making sure that everything fits, all the proper cuts and everything. And again, subfloor prep is no different on loose lay than it is a glue down. We still want the best possible subfloor that we can. Some of the benefits of a loose lay is with the padding on the back, it can hide, and the thickness, it can hide some of the discrepancies in the subfloor. But still, at the end of the day, like I said earlier, we want that subfloor to be as perfect as possible before we put any product on it.
So the click I get because the whole floor is clicked, locked together. But I've got a question for you on some of the loose lay if it's not locked. And I'm speaking from personal experience because people bring things from home in. I honestly have less challenges in the rental properties than I do probably in my own house because I'm learning hard. The rentals, I don't know, we kind of got that down. It's rote at this point. But let's say you've got a large bed and it's got those corner posts, right? Most beds all have 4 posts and then there's something distributed in the middle. On the loose lay, do you ever see, because of the pressure, the weight of that bed, it move those apart at all or sink them and then it kind of pulls at the seams?
Yes, you will see that especially with the true loose lay because they're so thick. With the click planks, they're usually a little bit more durable. The ceramic coating on top is a little more durable and you won't see that as much. But the benefit of this is, especially with true loose lay with no clicking mechanism, is it takes 2 seconds to swap a plank out. If your installation company sells you a couple of extra boxes, you put them somewhere in a climate controlled area or maybe an attic, just depends. 4 or 5 years down the road, tenant moves out and you've got some damage. It takes 2 seconds to replace one of those true loose lay planks. For a click, it's a little more challenging, especially if it's in the middle of a room, because we actually have to come in, cut out the planks that are damaged if we have donor planks to put back, and then we have to take the locking mechanism off the bottom, and we actually have to glue that plank in place. So for a 4-post bed, there might be 4 planks in the corners that are glued in while the rest of it is still floating. But it doesn't affect the performance of the floor as long as the rest of the floor can still move. But there's many options to repair that very easily.
Fascinating. All right, so everybody's familiar with carpet. We've got to talk about it. It's less expensive. It feels warm. I mean, carpet's not bad, but there are some challenges to it, especially in rental properties. So how often are you seeing investors request this? What do you suggest to them? What options they have available? Because that's the first thing that's going to come to mind, right? Wait, carpet, inexpensive, rental, what is it? And you're at least going to get the question, even if that's not the final decision.
Yeah, so we definitely still install a lot of carpet. Soft goods are still a major part of our business. Owners and renters normally prefer soft goods in a bedroom setting. When you get up in the middle of the night, you need to go to the bathroom or something, you like to step on that nice soft carpet. Sometimes a hard surface can be cold, and it's just popular. Up until, I would say, pre-COVID, it made a ton of sense to install carpet because carpet was still the manufacturing process. All the supplies that they need to do that were readily available, and the cost was down. But in recent years, we have been noticing quite an increase in soft goods. The market is starting to come around a little bit, but still, for not much more money, you can install a loose lay plank or a glue down plank or a click plank. It's not that much more money than it normal because carpet is getting so expensive and the manufacturing process is expensive nowadays. Most manufacturers offer a wide range of carpets. And that's the reason why carpet is so popular. If you want to go with a blue or a green or a pink, that's you can't do that in a hard surface flooring. They do make some offerings out there, but they're wildly expensive if you wanted to go with a purple LVP. But they're out there. So for that reason, carpet still has a mainstay in rental properties. The biggest thing for rental properties is deciding on the quality of carpet you want to put in. As we all know, for an FHA approved home, you've got to be in the 25 ounce range on carpet. For us, for multifamily rental properties, we start out at a 16 ounce sometimes. Just depends on what the customer wants. But for rental properties and homes, I would say that the majority of most of what we install is going to be a 25 to a 30 ounce. If you have a really nice rental property that you want a little bit better quality carpet in, or something that you're thinking you might move back into in 6 months or a year to be your main residence, we would recommend something in the 40 ounce. Nylon, of course, is the most popular for longevity, long use. Nylon's expensive. If you put nylon down, you're probably going to spend more money than you would if you put a loose layer or click down. If you stick with a conventional PET, which is a manufactured, a lot of people call it Coke bottle carpet, but you can get into that for a little bit less. But still, at the end of the day, you have to be very conscious of that carpet cost because it can run up really, really fast, the higher grade of carpet that you choose. For treating subfloors for pet damage, you're going to run into that a lot in a rental property. And I know a lot of times there's a lot of conversations back and forth on the proper way to deal with it. The number one thing I can tell you about removing an odor is to remove the source of the odor. If you have rotting bread on your countertop, it's going to be there until you remove the rotting bread. So when you remove the source of the odor, you've already done half the battle. The second thing would be is what you're dealing with. For us, mostly it's pet urine, whether it's dog or cat. If they urinate on carpet, of course, it's going to go through to the pad and it's into the subfloor. If it's concrete, it's a little bit easier to deal with because we can clean the concrete and we can seal the concrete. If it's a wood subfloor, you normally can't clean a wood subfloor other than just sweep it up, and then we have to seal it. We have to seal it with a vapor barrier product. And the most common one that everyone used is oil-based kills. What it will do is it will seal that odor into the concrete or into the subfloor, so that way you don't have to deal with the subfloor issue anymore. You do have secondary damage, which normally can be baseboards, and in some extreme cases, a foot or so up your sheetrock. If it's just baseboards, we can clean that, prime it, and repaint it. If it is sheetrock, of course, it is porous and it's going to soak all the way through. And the best course of action there is just to cut it out and replace whatever damaged sheetrock we find. And we take that on a case-by-case issue. Not every one of these pet treatment jobs is exactly the same. Some of them we can treat with an enzyme and we can be on down the road, and others we have to gut sheetrock and baseboards and seal everything. And we can address any of those issues at the owner's request with specialty tools and processes.
Spectacular. So I'm glad we've gone through the main types of flooring, everything from the glue down to the click and place to the carpet. This is the main stuff we're going to use for investment properties, right? But I know there's got to be some other considerations to take into place. And I know Don's here for a reason, because he did some homework for us and has some other really good insights from his 3 decades in the business to share with us. So Don, I want to make sure you get a little bit of floor time as well. Tell us what we haven't covered, because knowing your questions and having them answered is one thing, but having somebody else guide you to what you failed to know and you failed to ask is sometimes even more vital. So what are we missing today?
Yeah, thanks for that, Matt. That's great insight, just how you said it. Trying to stay equipped with available products in our industry are really just one of the assets we could bring to the customer base. The things that Eric talked about are really the primary products that we see in rental properties throughout Central Texas nowadays. But there are products that we still run into that are tried and true, even tile. We install a lot of tile from living room, dining room, even throughout homes. A lot of the time, backsplashes. And the beauty of tile is you just get a damp cloth and wipe it up, and spills are taken care of. The durability factor is huge. Sure, dropping a pan sometimes, as you said, Matt, will happen. They are actually a very durable product that will test the lasting long time. So we also do a lot of engineered wood. It's very rare that we'll see, growing up, we probably heard about solid wood, 1 inch thick. We don't run into a lot of that any longer. Nowadays, it's more of an engineered wood that we'll see. We do install quite a bit of that still. And those are the 2 that we do quite a bit of every day, other than the products that Eric spoke of.
Is there anything? So one thing that came to mind for me was that, people go to either get their flooring done or their house painted, and they look for the cheapest number. So they don't ask what this covers. And then they find out, whether it's painting or flooring, there wasn't a baseboard or quarter round included in that. So how do you guys handle that when you do the bids?
Well, yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Matt. I think our goal as a provider is to really simplify challenges for whether it be homeowners or property managers. As you could imagine, if somebody's coming in and getting their painting done, primarily before the flooring goes in, depending on the type of flooring you'll be putting in, you'll need quarter round to be installed. If you could imagine, after they've come and paid their painters to come in and paint the home, then they've paid us to go in and do the flooring. Well, and the quarter round is installed around the flooring that we just installed, but it's unpainted. That becomes another cost for the homeowner, the property manager, to then pay the painting company to come back in and paint those products. As a supplier, we've tried to minimize some of those things and really suggest them prior while we're doing the bid process, to let them know, hey, we can take care of this process for you, paint these quarter rounds prior to our installation. And that way, 9 times out of 10, we're done with the flooring and it's move-in ready with the painted carport around or baseboards in some cases.
I think a lot of owners, they think, well, I can call Depot and I just get the house painted, or I call Depot and I just get the flooring. I mean, it's a phone call, right? But they don't understand that everything we do has a process to it. There's an order of operations, and then somebody's sick, and then, the flooring is delayed because we don't have the supply. All these things that are on the back end, which is the entire reason we have an industry from a property management perspective, because if it was easy, we wouldn't have an industry. And we're here because things aren't that easy, and people don't do what they say, and sometimes they don't help you as the way they should. And so I'm really appreciative when we have vendors like Powerhouse that come to the table with a collaborative mindset of, let us communicate with you about the things that we see that aren't being brought up, instead of, we got a bid, let's go to work, and then we'll deal with the problems later, because problems don't get smaller. They don't go away. They just get bigger. So I think dealing with that up front with vendors just like you guys is just, it's an amazing opportunity. So Don and Eric, I want to say, I appreciate all the great info. I appreciate the collaboration. We appreciate the opportunity to work with you guys. You guys are a partner with us. We may be one of your clients, but we consider ourselves a partner. We don't look at the relationship that way, because without you guys, everything kind of stops. And we're all here to serve the investor in Austin, Texas. So we love having you guys on these crowdcasts or webinars. Any other insight that you guys have, our marketing team will gather from you. We'll be pushing out blog posts. I'm going to put your information now into the chat as well. So if anybody wants to reach out to you guys, reach out to these guys directly. They've been in business for almost 3 decades. They've got a great reputation in Austin. They show up when they say they're going to. They just do what they're supposed to do. And I can promise you, it's not personal, but if you call Lowe's or Depot, you're going to be on hold for that customer service counter that is in another location, and they're not going to know what you need to know here in Austin, and you're not going to be able to find that person when something doesn't go right. So use local providers. It really just works out better all around on good days and bad. So is there anything else you guys want to share, just to make sure I don't leave anything out before the end of our time today?
No, Matt, you covered it all. And just to reiterate, we feel the same about our relationship with you guys. So thank y'all for having us, and appreciate all you do.
Thank you, Matt.
Sorry, go ahead, Eric.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, and just again, the partnership is a really big thing, and I can't overstate that you need a team of people that know each other, trust each other, and have developed that over decades, not I just called a guy in the yellow pages and hope it works out. That's not a referral. I mean, you can Google a name. It's not the same thing as, call Eric or call Don over at Powerhouse and ask for him, and they'll take care of you. So I'm going to pop my info as well into the chat. If you guys have any questions for us at 1836, email us, contact us, fill out the web form. We're here for you guys. If there's topics we haven't covered, if there's something else we could have done better on this, please let us know. And obviously, if you want to reach out to Powerhouse, they're here for your call. They're here to give you insight. They're here to help you make a good decision to be a more successful investor. So don't hesitate to use your resources, and don't feel like Google's going to give you the answers to everything, because sometimes we still need to talk to humans, trust them, and believe in them, and it'll work out, I promise. So Don and Eric, thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. Really just appreciate you guys, and thank you for being a help to educate our investors today.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Matt. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
We'll see you soon back at one of our rentals, and appreciate all you guys watching today or in the future. Reach out to either of us if we can help you with anything. We're here to help. Have a great rest of the week.